Hello, welcome to Conversations 101. I'm Fred Munkachi, and we have a special guest today from South Africa, and he's a player. Let's watch these videos first, and then we'll talk with our guest.
Now battle for a ball between a Mercyhurst player and a Tri-C player, number 17, Kimore Turner. He's moving up the field. It's a Mathe. Headbutts it again. It'll go to Mathe. Mathe goes to Chami. That goes to Alex White. Looks like there's a collision there between him and Josh Judd. Wag. Wag will kick it deep. Mathe, oh, the interception. Saji pushes it. Tri-C's hustling. Mathe is kicking the ball. Mathe is, check that, that's Brown. Brown passed it to Mathe. Mathe's on the hustle.
Johansson Mathe. You've got to tell us what brought you to the United States.
It's actually it's a funny story, Fred, because I remember my coach came down all the way from Cleveland to South Africa as a showcase, and then my friend and I were actually recognized, and then they asked us if we'd like to come to America and be student athletes, and that was a chance we couldn't deny, and so we're like, yeah, here we are.
So was there any culture shock involved with moving from a place that far away to Cleveland?
Yep, that was actually a big culture shock in terms of food, in terms of the way people interact, you know. And
Give me an example.
I feel like when I got to my accent, you know, because like I sound different, and I love it, you know. I wouldn't change it for anything, you know, because I mean it takes different people to make the world, you know.
Sure.
But the first time I came here, the first month or two in the fall, people expected me to change my accent, you know, because you know America's a melting pot, so they say. So they, you know, I'll say chance, class. So I sounded a bit different, and people always look at me like, you know, this African guy sounds weird. But you know, I feel like an accent really doesn't determine your intellectual level, you know, and an accent actually has a sense of heritage, you know, has
Sure.
a form of identity. That's why I've chosen to keep my accent, you know. Other than that, a lot of things are different. Like in America, the food. I mean, Americans' culture food is burger and soda, you know, and chips.
Do they have hamburgers in South Africa?
Yeah, we actually do. Actually, we have Burger King and everything, and yeah, but it's actually a big shift because people really think that Africa's a jungle, which Africa's not a jungle, you know, because in the way it's portrayed in the media, you know, I don't blame them actually. The way they portray Africa in the media, they were like donate $1 for starving kids, you know, that's how they only show Africa, but they never show the diamonds, they never show the gold, they never show the minerals, they never show the good side. Exactly, they never show the good side, you know. So it's the power of media as well, you know.
So tell me a little bit how you got started in playing soccer and how you must have gotten very good for someone from Cleveland to go all the way to South Africa to find you. Tell us about that.
Me playing soccer actually started when I was 7 years old. Yeah, I got my first pair of cleats when I was 7 years old. Puma cleats, I still have them. And I actually signed under those cleats and I made myself a promise. And I made myself a promise that I have a lot to prove to myself, and I'll always play soccer for as long as I can. And me playing soccer, I feel like that's the best way I can express myself. You know, it's always that thing that, you know, some people choose to sing, some people want to dance, some people want to paint. You know, I feel like when I'm on the field for that 90 minutes, like all my problems go away, the world stands still. And all that matters for that 90 minutes is just me, the ball, and having fun.
So you were an amateur in South Africa. Did you turn pro then, or do you have plans to go pro with your experience here in America?
Back home, I actually played academy, and I was on the verge of going pro. And then came the offer to come to Cleveland, of which I had to weigh my options, you know, coming to America.
What motivated you to start playing?
Actually, my father and my brother, they actually played. So growing up, I used to watch them play. And then my father was actually a club official, the local team back home. So I used to train with the older people, and then I'm like, you know what, I like this, you know, it's motivation, and why not try it out? And then here we are.
Now let's say you become a pro, or even if you don't, after a Tri-C experience, what are your goals in life outside of soccer?
That's a good question. after I want to play pro, and then after I retire, hang my boots, I actually want to be a sports analyst, you know. I want to work TV, media, you know, talk about soccer, and I'd love to do that. I'd love to.
Do you get back home very often? I mean, how long have you been here, and what's your back and forth schedule, if any?
Well, I've been here since the fall of 2016, and I go home usually in the summer, you know, go 3 months, go back home.
So that's winter when it's just summer.
That's very true, because I never get enough sun. That's the sad part.
Is it cold down there when you go back? I mean, it's pretty far south.
Well, compared to here, I wouldn't say it's cold, but before I came here, I thought it was cold.
Okay.
And then when I come here, I see it's snowing.
It's a whole
you know,
different
it's,
cold.
it's a whole different cold.
You know, I hear you have a nickname, and that nickname is Jobino.
It's a funny story, because growing up, I played, as I said, I played with the old guys, you know, so I always had a Real Madrid kit on and had the name Robino at the back. So everyone used to call me Robino. And I'm like, you know what, I don't want to be a second version of someone else. I want to be the only version of myself. So let's put the J-O to the R-O. So then the Jobino name grew, and then next thing you know, Jobino's a brand.
What are the difference between soccer here and in South Africa?
The soccer here is more physical per se, and the soccer back home is more skillful. Like, we have a lot of dribblers back home, like, and people here, it's all about how big you are, because the coach, the first thing they're going to ask you, they're like, how tall are you, how much do you weigh, are you 6 foot? But then they look at that side of soccer, but back home it's different.
It's a finesse game.
Exactly, but back home we don't care how big you are, how fast, like, well, speed does count, but we never look at your size. If you're good, you're good.
Who are your role models?
Oh, that's actually a good question. My role models would have to be LeBron James. Funny enough, I came to Cleveland. That's what actually influenced
But
my
he's not a
move.
soccer player. How
But
that-
the thing is, because then I think his work ethic, you know,
He is a hard worker.
LeBron plays like he's, like, you know, he's young, but he's
just won
exactly.
MVP.
He's in his 30s, and
He's
his work
33.
ethic, and then my other role model would be Cristiano Ronaldo, and then we have Thierry Henry. He's a retired soccer player. Zidane.
Are these local to you? I'm sorry. I'm
Well, no.
and maybe our audience is too.
No, they actually, one's from France and other from Brazil, other from Portugal. So I grew up watching them when I was young. So I feel like they played a big role in my life in the decision of me chasing the soccer dream.
That's great. All right. Well, thank you very much for being here, Johansson.
Thank you for having me, Fred.
You're welcome. And that concludes this episode of Conversations 101. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you next time.